Good afternoon and welcome to I guess it's the 19th episode of the Public Circle Live. My name is Adam Olsen. I am the MLA for Saanich North and the Islands, and I'm just getting back to work. This is my first week back after being away for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to start this week's episode by talking a little bit about the importance of going on a holiday. And actually vacating. I remember one of my former bosses when I worked in the communications field really stressed that as we were going away on holiday that we had to, or going away on vacation, that the key part of going on vacation is to vacate. And this job, the job as MLA, is one that tends to be all-encompassing. It's one that takes a full hold of your life, and in fact, it takes full hold of the life of my staff as well. We're dealing with not only incredibly complex bits of public policy, but we're also working as well on a social level, dealing with some of the most challenging social issues that face our society today, whether it be people accessing healthcare or housing, the lack of affordability in our community, in our communities, the challenges that we face here in as the MLA have become well, frankly, we begin to carry them, and they become our burdens as well. And I know that I don't want to suggest at all that I carry these burdens or that they impact me as they impact some of the people and the stories that we hear, but I do think it's important to point out that we do carry these stories along with us, and they become to a great extent, they become our story. They become the story of our riding and of the places that we represent, the places that we love. And I think that it is good to get away, to vacate, and thankfully I was able to vacate. I went away with my family. I got to, for many of you who know me, you know that I've got an amazing family. I'm just going to see if I can get this up. There we go. I'm live. I've got an amazing family, Emily and Silas and Ella, an incredibly supportive group around me, and it was amazing to get away and go camping with them. And it was kind of like, for the first week, that I was, as I was joking, that I was kind of like mental breakdown dad. And it's not really that much of a joke for people who have gone through substantial mental breakdowns, but it was a real challenge to get away. It is not easy to escape some of the challenges that we face or the pressure of the job. My daughter kind of laughs at me and she says, "Dad, you're looking so old." And I said, "Oh, sweetie, I'm not going white. I'm going blonde." But the reality of it is that the stress of the work is pretty heavy duty. And I spent the first week of my holiday camping with my family. You've seen, if you're on Instagram, Adam Olsen. You've seen, it's my Instagram handle, by the way. You've seen some of the photos of us. We went away to camp around the West Coast Trail, and it took me a while. I spent a lot of time taking a look, just sitting in our campsite, staring at the flames of the fire, while Silas and Ella and Emily were on the beach, or we spent a lot of time going for walks in the woods, and it was very welcome and much needed, and I highly recommend it. If you get away. I highly recommend that you take a holiday and get away. The second week was a different week. I was completely disassociated with work. I didn't even do emailing. And for those of you who are waiting for a response, I apologize. I'm still trying to get back to all of the emails in the inbox. But I'll say this: the second week was unbelievable. Emily and I spent the week going through our house and getting rid of a whole pile of stuff. And it's amazing, in our consumer society, how much stuff it just piles up. And we've only lived in our house since 2015, and it's unbelievable how quickly these things pile up. But more than that, the feeling of getting rid of and donating, and we were talking about whether or not we were going to have a garage sale or if we were just going to donate this stuff, and we ended up just donating it. It's much easier, by the way. Highly recommend donating, and besides, the charities that we donated it to can then turn around and sell it to people who do need it, and they can raise money and put that back in to areas that are for people who are in need. So I opened up the mug, the cupboard with our glasses and mugs and cups, and there's 20-something coffee mugs, and there's 2 people in our family that drink coffee, and we probably have more than that, visitors, a couple times a month maybe. Who needs 20 coffee mugs? And so we got rid of a whole pile of them, and besides, it inspires and motivates to do the dishes on a more regular basis. Anyway. I'll just say this: that the feeling of going through the cupboards and the drawers in our kitchen and the work area in our house and the laundry room, which was just piling up stuff in our house, and donating it was just a relief, and further helped to remove the burden. So I just wanted to talk about that holiday because I think it's important to let you know, we work long hours. We put in 16, 18-hour days here, and so it was very much welcome to get rid of some of the stress, some of the burden, and get back to work and go all in. So I have just put it up. If you want to get a hold of my office, you can. adam.olsen.mla@ledge.bc.ca is the email, and you can email us at you can call us at 250-655-5600. My website admittedly doesn't have a lot of new stuff on it. I haven't got back to posting this week, but I will, and I'm going to put a post up a little later, maybe this weekend or next week, about a topic that I'm going to cover in a few minutes, Woodwind Farm. So you can visit my website. You can see it here on the screen, adamolsen.ca. So I just wanted to put that on there. And just a reminder, actually, we do this, the Public Circle Live, this Facebook live feed, every Friday at 4:30 p.m. I might be playing around with the time because I don't know that this is the best time to be doing these Facebook Live videos. I've been playing around with some live videos earlier this week, different timing, trying to find a time that really works for people. But you can help us out by hitting the like button, showing this Facebook Live feed some love, even hitting the sad face or the angry face as we talk about subjects that may be frustrating to you. So in this episode of the Public Circle Live, I'm going to be talking about the work that I got to immediately getting back from my holiday. I went straight into the first committee meeting of the Wild Salmon Advisory Council. I did do a Facebook Live video about that. In fact, I did 2 of them earlier this week, so I've covered that. You can go back into my Facebook feed and you can find those videos. So I'm not going to rehash that, but I do want to point out that on Monday afternoon, I did a podcast with Politicoast. It was a great podcast. Well, a very enjoyable podcast. Ian Bushfield and Scott. I'm sorry, Scott. Your last name's not right on the tip of. But Scott and Ian interviewed me on the work that we've been doing on wild salmon. That podcast will be up tomorrow, Saturday morning, hopefully. They let me. I just had a tweet exchange with them, Twitter exchange with them, with Ian, and he let me know that it is likely to be up tomorrow. So you can go to Politicoast, P-O-L-I-T, Politicoast, Politicoast. You can see the link is in the comment section below. You can check it out, politicoast.ca. If you're interested, give them a plug. If you're interested in podcasts and you're interested in listening to podcasts about BC politics, well, this is the one, politicoast.ca. I've got an extensive interview going to be going live there. I'll be pushing that out on my social media feeds as well. It might be the first blog post since coming back from holiday. So I just wanted to to plug the Politicoast podcast, and I thank Ian and Scott for having me there, and I apologize, Scott, for not having your last name on the tip of my tongue. The second thing that I want to talk about, I just want to address some of the stuff that I'm seeing on social media around the response to the ride hailing, and I want to address this as sort of at a higher level because I've done a lot of interviews in the last couple of days about ride hailing. Of course, I've been very clear that my hope was that the government was going to move much more quickly on ride hailing than they have, and frankly, it is frustrating that we're not moving forward on taxi modernization and introduction of ride hailing at the same time. The choice the government has made is to provide some space for the taxi industry. But I do want to address some of the comments that I've been seeing on social media. And clearly, these are people that want nothing more than for the BC Green Caucus to just pull government down, to just vote of non-confidence for every single issue. And so, for me, I just want to address this head on because it is a situation in which we have to be responsible, folks. This is not a situation pulling government down or voting a non-confidence vote is not something to be taken lightly. And clearly these are folks that have got other, that are suggesting this, have got other agendas, and they might have other political leanings. But I think that it's important for me to be very, very clear on this. In a situation like this, like ride hailing, where it's not part of the confidence and supply agreement, an agreement that's founded on good faith and no surprises, it is completely irresponsible to be even having a conversation about votes of non-confidence in this situation. We are in a unique situation. I and my two colleagues, Sonia Firstnell, Andrew Weaver, are in a unique situation. We are part of a partnership and an agreement that provides British Columbia a stable government. We have a responsibility to creating stability in government. But we're also members of the opposition. And so we have the right and we have the responsibility to provide critiques of what government policy is and to be honest and to speak clearly about what we feel. Over the last couple of days, I've spoken very clearly about what I feel about the government's decision on ride hailing. I don't like it, I don't agree with it, and frankly, I'm disappointed. That's my job. I try to do it in the most positive way that I possibly can, but it is my job to provide a critique on the government on this issue, and I have, and I will, and I and my colleagues will continue to. So this is a fine line that we have to walk. We're not gonna succumb to every time that we express our disappointment or our disagreement with the government and people who've got maybe other partisan leanings, demanding on Twitter that we pull government down. It's not responsible behavior, and we're not gonna succumb to it. But we will do our job. We will do our best to hold government to account. We'll utilize the opportunities that we have and the relationships that we've built. We've got good relationships with government to have these conversations. But if we feel that the government's made a decision that we don't support, we're going to let British Columbians know about it, and we're also going to provide what we feel the alternative solution was. The alternative solution in this case was that we were strongly recommending and hoping, and actually Andrew had worked to the point where we had an all-party agreement and report where they were making recommendations to move it forward. And so this we've considerably down the road on this issue. So I just wanted to address what I've been seeing on social media because I feel that, yeah, you know what, like maybe it could have been better it would have been better if it was just ignored. Fine, fair enough. Maybe I should have just ignored some of the comments that I've seen. Perhaps the people who see those comments go, it's just folks that are bitter and they just would want government, they want an election or whatever it is. But the reality of it is that I just want to be clear about what my role is as both a partner to government, a member of a partnership with government, with a confidence and supply agreement, an agreement that we signed with the government, based on no surprises and good faith, working in good faith with the government, but also as a member of the opposition. So that's the second thing that I wanted to talk about. The final thing that I'm going to talk about today is Woodwind Farm. Now, Woodwind Farm is, hello, Emily. Maybe I should just stop and say hello to Emily. Hello again, Christine. Nice to see you again. And and Don Smith. Nice to have you back joining us today, Don. And okay, so I just wanted to say hello, tip my hat, although I'm not wearing a hat. A salute to you for joining us today. So with that in mind, let's get to the final topic that I want to cover today, and it's going to be the content of a future blog post, which actually is right here. I've started writing it, but I wanted to just cover it in broad strokes in the video today. Woodwind Farm is an issue that has been near and dear to my heart. It goes back to 2008. It is the very first issue that I was lobbied on, if you could say. Even before I got elected to Central Saanich Council, I met with the potential operators of Woodwind Farm and was brought in on what the vision for Woodwind was. And the vision was a therapeutic community operating on a farm. And this issue has grown with me as a politician. It's been grown alongside me as a politician. I got elected on Central Saanich Council. It has been one of those most challenging issues in terms of communication as a municipal councillor. It's one in which we have, my colleagues in both the councils and then as well now as an MLA, I've been challenged with. For those of you who may remember, the former operator of the Creating Homefulness Society and some members of the community there came into my office with cameras rolling, and I sat and had conversations with them, and they demanded that I make promises to advocate on their behalf from their perspective. And it was a tough day. It was one of the tougher days since getting elected, for sure. Not because I lack compassion, and frankly, in the past, it was profiled that I lacked the compassion to support the project, which was proposing to have homeless folks living there in a therapeutic community and working on the farm. And nothing could be further from the truth. The situation in our cities with increasing homelessness and the lack of affordability and people in desperate situations it's heartbreaking for me. And the fact that I would be profiled or be suggested that I lack the compassion to support these folks, nothing could be further from the truth. The fact of the matter is that operating a therapeutic community on a farm is a complex matter. And as a councillor in the district of Central Saanich, I was responsible for an awful lot of farmland and awful lot of the food security. And what was most important in this whole thing, which I think is part of the frustration, and I'll go into it a little bit deeper in this blog post, but so check out my website, adamolsen.ca, in the next couple of days, and I'll put it in my social media as well. I'll post it when I finally get it edited and put up. But one of the frustrations around government for most people is that it's highly administrative and the little things matter. Little things matter more than perhaps the public thinks they should matter. So I asked the question in the blog post, is this project a therapeutic community operating a farm, or is it a farm with a therapeutic community? And people might think of that and say, well, what's the difference? What's the difference between a therapeutic community operating a farm or a farm with a therapeutic community? It's a big deal. In fact, this land at Woodwind Farm was a agricultural A1 land in the district of Central Saanich. Its primary use is farming. It is in the ALR, the Agricultural Land Reserve, which is managed by the Agricultural Land Commission. So whether or not how we look at this project was very, very important. And I always advocated the operator, the Creating Homefulness Society, to operate a farm. That's the primary use of the land, needs to be farming. Just like the primary use of your home in a residential neighborhood, R1, has to be a residential. You can't build a factory on that land. You have to build housing on that land. Now, you might be able to manufacture things in your garage as an accessory use, but it primarily has to be, or a secondary use, but it primarily has to be a residential lot. Same thing on agricultural land. And it does make a difference, because it does make a difference to your neighbors and to the community and to the neighborhood that you live in. It makes a big difference. And so I don't have a problem with, I never had a problem with a therapeutic community operating on a farm, as long as the primary focus of the operation was on farming. And so now that the provincial government has announced that they have purchased and that they are moving forward with a therapeutic community on Woodwind Farm, they have announced that they're not going to be housing people on the farm, which was always the most contentious piece of this. The housing that has been proposed on Woodwind Farm was proposed in the context of the therapeutic community, not in the context of what is needed for the farm. And so I always advised the former operator, connect the number of housing units that you need to the farm operation, not to the therapeutic community operation. Now, this may seem like it's all confusing and all, that it shouldn't matter, but it does matter. It does matter, because there's a whole pile of other farms on the Saanich Peninsula, and indeed around the province, that have to operate under the A1 and the Agricultural Land Reserve. And so it makes a difference there. And it also makes a difference to the neighborhood that this operation is in. So as I mentioned, the province has purchased the farm. They're going to operate a therapeutic community. And my primary message to the ministry that's running it, and also to the municipal councillors and mayor at Central Saanich, is that it's a farm, the primary use be a farm. And so to all reports, and I'll be getting a further briefing about this in the next few weeks, is that any housing that's on there has to be directly connected to the farm operation. Any therapeutic community initiatives on the farm need to be done in the context of the farm operation. And wouldn't it be an amazing thing to see 190 plus acres on the Saanich Peninsula of prime agricultural land be put into full production? It's been very, very sad to drive by Woodwind Farm and see the fields that once had Holstein cattle on it, grazing and laying underneath the Gary oak trees, just be full of thistles that are going to seed. It's been sad to see land that could be used for hay going to weeds. And so there is an opportunity now with the new operator to bring on board a robust farm manager that can develop a robust farm plan and actually deliver on it. Because there could be nothing more exciting than 190 plus acres of prime agricultural land to go into production. Not only that, but there's a bunch of other opportunities that need to be explored and that can be explored now that we have a new operator on that land. So I just wanted to address some of the history. I'm going to go in a little bit deeper on it in a blog post. As I said, you can check out my website, adamolsen.ca. You can check that out in the next couple of days. It will go up. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to be able to get it done, because I'm going to be going swimming with my kids tonight. That was part of the deal about coming back to work, was that we remain connected. So those are the topics that I wanted to cover today. Going on holidays, giving a plug to a podcast at politicos.ca. I wanted to address a little bit some of the narrative that I'm seeing on social media. I wanted to address it head on, and as well, Woodwind Farm. I encourage you to share this. I encourage you to share this video, to hit the like button, to show it some love, some frustration. Hey, I see one person just wants to have a good laugh. If you want to have a good laugh, now would be the time. Drop a good hearty laugh emoji, I guess they're called. An emoticon maybe, are they? I don't know what they are. These kids these days, hey? These kids these days. Anyways, if this has made you sad or angry, hit that a few times as well. share this with your friends, family, neighbors. Share this video with them. The goal here is to engage with people, to talk about some of the issues that are not only important in Saanich North and the Islands. I see Vic has joined me. Vic has joined from Lake Cowichan. Hello, Vic. We drove through your beautiful town just a couple of weeks ago. Thank you for joining us from Lake Cowichan. So this isn't just about Saanich North and the Islands. This is indeed for all British Columbians. And the way that we can get this podcast out to more and more people, of course, is for you to engage with it, to leave comments, to share it with your friends. Hey, if you have friends or neighbors that you think might enjoy this, drop their name in the comments and draw their attention and enjoy them and invite them to join us next week. It looks like Sheila Levy thinks that this is hilarious. So thank you for that. Please, she looks like she's laughing so hard that she's crying with all of those laughing emoticons. Thank you, Sheila, for giving us thank you for giving us some of that love. Judy Feinstein, lovely Judy, enjoy your vacation. Kathy Weisner, thank you for supporting ALR. We need to produce more of our own food. No question about it, and there's an article that was posted. You know what? We cannot continue to rely on other jurisdictions to produce our food for us. First of all, you know, the GHG emissions of bringing our food and transporting our food in. 1, 2, we can't trust that they're going to be able to manage their water any better than we manage our water. Hopefully, we manage our water better. But you know, the fact of the matter is that by relying on other jurisdictions to produce our food for us, we put ourselves in a great risk, no question about it. So what else do we have? Kimberly McLean from Salt Spring Island. We need Salt Spring Island tiny homes. Yes, we need places to live and PWD rates raised to at least a livable level. The allotted $375 for shelter just does not cut it. Kimberly, thank you so much. And I have been seeing your posts with respect to persons with a disability rates, but as well, the welfare and the social assistance rates. Like, look, the whole campaign around raise the rates. Look, the BC Green Party campaigned on, and the BC Green Caucus has been very much supportive of a guaranteed livable income, a basic income. You know, the model of social assistance model, we think, is one that needs to be revisited. In fact, we are revisiting it, and we strongly encourage the government. We've been strongly encouraging the government to take a look at a guaranteed livable income, a basic income for everybody in British Columbia, and looking at this the poverty that frankly this government inherited after 16 years of frankly the government's just not paying attention to the social issues in our province. Well, they've piled up. I was at an event earlier today, and the mayor and council of the event that I was at the event, a mayor and a councillor came up to me and said, we have to deal with the doctor issue. You know, that was an issue that was supposed to be dealt with by 2015. Clearly it wasn't. Now we're having significant challenges in our communities around a doctor shortage. So that was obviously a side. I got distracted. I'm sorry. So thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Adam Olsen. I am the MLA for Saanich North and the Islands. Once again, if you want to get a hold of me, you can email my office at adam.olsen.mla@ledge.bc.ca. You can call my office here in Sidney. We're in the Landmark building at the foot of Beacon. You can call my office at 250-655-5600. Visit my website. It's got all our contact information. It also has the latest in blog posts, also the latest video work that we do. You can check out my website at adamolsen.ca. Once again, show this work that we're doing here some love. Hit the like button a few times. Thank you very much for joining me on this Friday afternoon. I really hope that you have a great weekend, and I'm back at work now. I've got a full slate of meetings next week, some presentations that I'm doing. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to continuing to engage you on Facebook Live. So I guess I'll just leave it at that for this week. Thanks again for joining me. And until next time, Hayekwa.